Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I want to discuss my least favorite entry in the original run of the Friday the 13th, and that is the last in the series. Actually, my god, my voice cracked. It's because my testicles still haven't dropped. But it's the last in the series as far as them being referred to as Friday the 13th part whatever, because if I'm not mistaken at this point, or from this point forward, New Line bought the character of Jason Voorhees, but they didn't buy the franchise, so that's why the next part is called, what is it? Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, because, again, they weren't able to use Friday the 13th. But yeah, so I'm here to discuss Friday the 13th Part 8. This is like the made-for-TV movie. Out of all of them, this is definitely the one that was made for Saturday afternoon television. There are so many problems with this movie. When Jason's slaughtering everybody, there's no blood. Like, he slices the captain's throat. You see the guy's throat open, but there's no blood. When he puts the sauna rock into the guy's stomach, there's no blood. And this just seems to be when he butchers the blonde chick in the bathroom. You don't even see anything there at all. It's like a total soap opera kill. So again, there's no blood. But then, when the other characters stumble across the bodies of these people, there's a ton of blood. So I don't exactly know where that would come from. If slicing your throat doesn't immediately produce blood, it's because that person whose throat you slit was a fucking vampire. Okay? The other issues I had with this movie, I made a list, because there's quite a few of them. Let's see. Oh, yeah. The blonde chick and the Brainiac. They're going to kill the main chick, Rennie, over the fact that they believe that she ratted them out to her uncle, who's sort of the head teacher on this class trip. Look at me talking about this movie like everybody's already seen it. I'm not even giving a plot synopsis. Jason gets on a boat. He kills a lot of people. He goes to New York. There. But it's really Vancouver. So the blonde chick and the Brainiac, the blonde chick decides to kill the main girl, Rennie, because, again, she believes that she ratted her out to Rennie's uncle, who's the head teacher on this little cruise thing. And the ship is a piece of shit, too. It's not exactly the type of cruise ship kids would want to pay to go on for a grade 12 grad trip. I did nothing for my grade 12 grad. I didn't even get to go to prom. My girlfriend broke up with me like 2 weeks before. And I tried to sell the tickets, but I wasn't able to. And then afterwards, I was dating this chick again after we broke up, and she was like a year younger than me, so she was going to graduate. And then we broke up right before fucking prom, too. So I don't think I'm slated to go to prom. Now it's a little late. It's like decades later, and I don't think I'm making it to prom. But yeah, so the blonde chick and the Brainiac they shove Rennie off into the ocean, which is clearly like a soundstage somewhere, and because she can't swim. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, really? You don't even have any proof that she ratted you out, which she didn't, first off. And so you just decide to kill her over this? That's your solution? You're snorting some coke on board a ship where there's no authorities. What's the teacher going to do? What's her uncle going to do if he catches you? The coke's gone. You don't have to murder somebody over this. So there was that. Let's see. The other thing I thought was kind of funny was the nerdy dude with the camera that has a thing for the blonde chick. He's kind of like a cross between Corey Feldman in Stand By Me and a cross between Corey Feldman in The Lost Boys. He's got Corey Feldman's hair from The Lost Boys, but he kind of has Corey Feldman's face from Stand By Me. I thought that was really odd. I know it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Corey Feldman is in this series. They're not doing that as some sort of nod to him. It's just kind of weird, I always thought. What else? Oh, yeah, Julius. I love this. So when they decide to go out and hunt after whoever's killing their classmates, Julius and all the tough guys, they come up with all these weapons and they throw them on the ground. There's axes and, I don't know, machetes and whatever else. And all the guys are scrambling in. One's grabbing an axe, another's grabbing a knife, another's grabbing a broomstick or whatever. And then they all turn to Julius and they're like, dude, wait, you're not taking anything? And he's like, I'm not taking anything except for this shotgun. And he picks up a fucking shotgun. And I'm thinking to myself, if somebody came up to me and said, okay, we got to go hunt this dude or whatever, pick a weapon, and there's axes and knives and whatever else, and there's a shotgun, me and everybody else are going to try to grab the shotgun first, and we're going to have to do have trials to see who's worthy of the shotgun, like the Joker did with the two guys in The Dark Knight. When he's like, yeah, you know, but we do have limited space open in our organization, so we're going to have some trials, and he snaps the pool cue in half. That's essentially where we'd find ourselves. We'd be at a gladiator academy, basically, fighting for who takes the shotgun. All these jackasses grab axes and shit. Like, who can wield an axe effectively other than Jason Voorhees? But I tell you who can wield a shotgun effectively, anybody who knows how to pull a trigger. Okay? I'm not taking an axe over a gun, ever. So there was that. I will say, though, I loved how Julius actually gets Jason close to the edge when he's punching him. He's beating the shit out of Jason, but of course he's not got his boxing gloves on because Julius is a boxer. Should have mentioned that. And he knocks Jason right to the edge of the building when they're in Manhattan, even though they are clearly not in Manhattan. At this point, I believe they're in Vancouver, but we're supposed to believe that they're in Manhattan. And so Jason's knocked right to the edge of the building, and then Julius is like, go ahead, take your best shot. And he knocks Julius's head clean off, down the roof, into a dumpster, and it slams the dumpster shut. Now that is an effective way to kill somebody. I'm telling you, that is like one of my favorite kills this entire series. Man, Julius, he came so close to knocking Jason off the rooftop. But I always wondered too if Jason was just fucking with him. You know. What else? The other thing that, actually one of the more positive things that I can say about this movie is when Jason is in downtown New York and he's chasing after Rennie and the good-looking guy who'd end up in Young and the Restless, I think. And those like punks and skins are hanging out listening to whatever on their stereo. And he walks by and kicks it. And then they're like, that's it, motherfucker, you're dead. And instead of engaging with them and, you know, twisting their heads off or whatever, he just lifts his mask up. And it really shows that Jason has a considerable amount of reasoning power, which, to be frank, is something that I never would have pegged Jason Voorhees as having. He always just seemed as sort of the see it and kill it type. But he does have some reasoning power, and I thought that was kind of cool. And two, when Jason's going down with the ship, I mean, he can't swim, right? That's kind of how this whole thing got started way back when with his mom, because little Jason can't swim, so we know Jason can't swim. So does that mean he walked along the bottom of the ocean to the New York harbor? And how was he able to navigate his way to New York? Really? Or Vancouver? How was he able to do this? I mean, he's not a sea captain. He slit the throat of the sea captain. The sea captain's gone. So there's that. I also really liked how they got Vic from Neon Rider, which a show that I grew up loving. Anybody outside of Canada probably doesn't even know what Neon Rider was. Quickly, it was a show starring Winston Record. He played a like sort of youth psychologist who had this ranch where he takes troubled kids up there and he tries to straighten them out. Like, one will be a gang member, another will be a kleptomaniac, another kid will be suffering from some type of abuse, another person, you know, will have a drug problem, and on and on and on. And Neon Rider was a great show, and I really believed the characters, and I believed the settings, and I believed that the writers were actually trying to do some good with this show. And Vic, one of the people that help Dr. Michael Terry, played by Winston Record, on his ranch, he plays one of these scumbag rapists / drug addicts who grab Rennie and they're going to rape her, but Jason shoves a needle through him. I thought that was cool that Vic was in this. And of course, Vic at this point, the actor, they are obviously in Vancouver because he was a native Vancouvian. Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff at that point, like as far as, at least on the Canadian side of things, sorry, I saw him pop up a few places here and there. But my favorite for seeing him when he played Vic as Neon Rider, God, I love that show. But it was cool to see him in this, and it's cool that, you know, Jason shoves a needle through him. I thought that was rad. Anything else I wanted to say here? Oh yeah, the dude that Jason throws onto the antenna, that's art. Okay, when Julius sees him up there and they do the wide shot of the dude dangling off the antenna, that's art. But I think that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discussed the not so great Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, or rather Jason's in Times Square for 30 seconds and otherwise Jason Takes Vancouver. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody, but most importantly, please do not forget that the world is a better place because you are in it. I'm gonna go. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.